Milo back again, and today we're doing a enhancement tips video. Coming in for Mists of Pandaria, the new expansion, I was elemental as I had always been, with restoration as my off spec. But after I got to 90, I kind of just felt, I don't know, I just really wasn't digging on the elemental build, so I figured I'd try enhancement, and I really like it. It's a basic rotation, but it's a key to staying on top of hitting all your spells when you're supposed to. So I'm going to show you an add-on here that I use. It's very lightweight, very easy to use, even for people who don't really have a great computer can use it. It's called Enhancement Technique. You see there at the bottom right there, it says Enhancement Technique. Right now I'm just running Recount, Deadly Boss Mods, and Enhancement Technique. If I press and hold Alt, this little window pops up. Now currently the way this guy built this mod was for his Enhancement Shaman and his rotation. So it's not customizable. The only thing you can really do is left click and move it around. You can either hold Alt left click to move it around to put it where you want, or when the fight starts it automatically pops up and then you can move it around. So sometimes you might move it around when you're moving your camera in a fight, but it's always repositionable. Anyways, currently I am a 466 eye level in my Enhancement Shaman. The only thing I'm really getting hurt on right now is my shoulders. They are from PvP. I just have not been able to get any shoulders to drop. I've got the Valor Point necklace. I got a trinket from the second boss and the second raid finder. I have the ring from the Headless Horseman. I mean, who doesn't? It's too easy to get. And I'm rocking 2 Claws of Gekon because they're not unique equipped, so you can use both of them. They are a fist weapon, even though, as you can see on my character, they kind of look like daggers. That drops off of Gekon in the Moshigun Palace heroic dungeon. They are great weapons. I recommend getting them. I'm also using the enchantment called Windsong. What Windsong does is it has a chance on hit to proc 1 of 3 enhancements. It can either be Crit Strike, Mastery, or Haste. So they can double proc together. I've even had it triple proc in fights. So getting any more crit, haste, or mastery on top of that is awesome. The other one is Dancing Steel is the other enchantment. I can't really remember what it does, but I just know currently right now none of my guildies have it as an enchanter, so I can't get it off of them. And on the auction house, it's going for like 17,000 gold for an enchant, and that's, I mean, being that I just bought some extra stuff the other day, I have 11,000 gold. I'm not going to spend that much money on an enchant, especially for a weapon that I'm going to replace probably in the coming weeks. But anyways, so I use Windsong, I use double Windsong, use Wind Fury on your main hand, and use Flame Tongue on your offhand. The reason why I use Flame Tongue on your offhand is because of this ability called Lava Lash. It does 40% more damage if Flame Tongue is on your offhand. Lava Lash also works with your Searing Totem or even your Fire Elemental Totem. Every attack that the totem does will add a stack of what is called Searing Flames. Let me actually just give you an idea here. Let me just Earth Shock this guy so my totem will start shooting. See right there, Windsong just double procced off of my Earth Shock. Kind of cool, huh? Come on. Start shooting, please. There you go. See right here, you have Searing Flames, 3, and also you can see it count on this add-on I have. You get if you have 5 stacks, which is the max, that's when you're going to want a Lava Lash, and you'll do the most damage with your Lava Lash. The cool thing about Searing Flames, what they've done with Enhancement, is that Searing Flames used to stack on your target. Now Searing Flames stacks on the Shaman. Easier target switching, less time to ramp up for target switching and things like that. Nice little graphic I have right here in the middle is for your Maelstrom weapon. Makes any nature spell with a base cast of less than 10 seconds instant, so it can be used for Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, or even Healing Surge, Instant Healing Surge. Depends on, usually you won't be using many healing surges while you're DPS, but in the PvP situation it's very vital. Other things are my talents. They've totally changed the talents in Mists of Pandaria. A lot of the first couple of talents are basically just like, I guess, either quality of life or survival talents. Currently I use Astral Shift, which is kind of like a shield wall for shamans. 40% damage reduction for 6 seconds. Frozen Power. I use it mostly because it says Frost Shock now roots target in place for ice for 5 seconds. I'm on a PvP realm, so I find this this talent works a lot better for me than Earth Grab Totem, because you can use Frozen Power and and still use your Earth Bind Totem at the same time. Windwalk Totem is it makes you immune to movement impairing effects. It's not really too big of a deal for me as a shaman, as an enhancement shaman, because I mostly want to be in their range. If I'm really getting kited, I could always use Spirit Walk, which breaks all my movement impairing effects and gives me a sprint. In the last one here, I used Totemed Projection. In case I have to run around, I can just relocate my totems. The way that works is, say I have my Earthbind and my Fire Totem down. So you have those two totems down. You could be running over to here to this boss over here, and I can just relocate the totems. Very useful. Echo of the Elements. This is where it kind of gets a little different here. Elemental Mastery, it gives you 30% haste for 20 seconds. It's on a short 2-minute cooldown. It's a pretty nice ability. As Enhancement Shamans, you already get a lot of haste. On short fights, or fights that have like a burn phase, Elemental Mastery does kind of pull ahead. But on most of the fights that I've seen, and the most fights I've done, they're longer fights, especially in the raids, Echo of the Elements just works out so much better. That means, double Flame Shocks, double Earth Shocks, double Lightning Bolts, double Chain Lightnings. It's awesome. That's the best place to put it. Also, it can be, even in PvP, it could be a double Healing Surge. You can proc a second Healing Surge. On the last one here, this is more of like a healing kind of talent tree right here. I use Ancestral Guidance because the amount of damage I put out, 40% of that amount is copied to 3 nearby party raid members. So if everybody's getting the shit kicked out of them, I can click this little button, and it pumps out more healing than Healing Tide Totem because I'm just doing consistent damage. The last talent is also open to debate for some people. Unleash Fury I like a lot better. Elemental Blast is nice because Elemental Blast is very similar to the Windsong enchantment, where it grants either crit, haste, or mastery for 3500 for 8 seconds. It has a 12-second cooldown. Only problem, I've worked with it in enhancement. It's just that it gets in the way of the rotation, I guess is the best way to put it, because you only want to use it when you have Maelstrom Weapon, and timing the Maelstrom weapons with your Unleash elements and everything else kind of fucks it up, I guess is the best way to put it. So I stick with Unleash Fury, is that every enchant you have on your weapons does something different. So with Wind Fury weapon, your melee attacks can trigger Static Shock. What Static Shock is every time you deal damage, you have a chance that your Lightning Shield, the damage that your Lightning Shield does, will be also done to your attacker, because even if they're not hitting you. And the other one is for Flame Tongue weapon, is that increases the damage taken from your Lightning Bolt by 30% for 10 seconds. It doesn't absorb when you hit them with Lightning Bolt, it stays on them. So if I go over to this target right here, and I hit Unleash Elements right here, it stays on there. It increases damage taken from Lightning Bolt. Usually you can get about 2 Lightning Bolts off in that time during the from Maelstrom weapon. So it just works out better, because Lightning Bolt's going to be a big damage bonus for you. Other things you have as enhancement. You have your Feral Spirits. 2 wolves that pop out. It's on a 2-minute cooldown, lasts 30 seconds. It attacks. You pretty much just use this on cooldown, I guess is the best way to put it. Ascendance is the new big shaman spell for Mist of Pandaria. For enhancement, your auto attacks and Storm Strike deal pure nature damage, and they have a 30-yard range. So if somebody's running from you and you click Ascendance, you're going to be able to hit them as long as they're within 30 yards. But your Storm Strike becomes Storm Lash, I think, and it hits really hard. Like, I'm talking like 170k crits, 180k crits with it. During Ascendance, you're going to usually get, because it lasts for 15 seconds, and this has an 8-second cooldown, you're going to usually get a, I know it sounds like weird because it's 15 and that should be, 16 seconds, I guess, but you're going to get 2 Storm Lashes out. You're going to want to make sure you get both of those out to make Ascendance worth it, I guess is the best way to put it. Also, you want to make sure you use Ascendance after you use your first Storm Strike, because once you click Ascendance, it resets the cooldown instantly for Storm Strike. So you're pretty much going to Storm Strike, click Ascendance, and then Storm Lash right away. Also, you have another ability called Storm Lash Totem, which it's a small raid buff. I mean, I think it needs a little bit of a buff, but every time you hit, you have a chance. All your abilities for you and your entire raid deal additional nature damage. It's got a 5-minute cooldown and only lasts 10 seconds. I mean, on a quick little burst fight, you can blow something up, but it just, for the 5-minute cooldown, I think it should do more damage. Pretty much I have my macro set up to use my trinket that requires on use, casting Feral Spirits, casting Ascendants, and I don't know if Stormlash will cast with it. And then also it's going to use my Lifeblood, which is another haste ability. Let me just do a basic rotation. First thing you're always going to want to do is unleash elements on the target, and then you're going to flame shock. Well, actually, first thing you want to do is actually going to drop your fire totem. Unleash elements, flame shock, and then it's pretty much going to tell you what to do on the icon here. I usually like to save my lava lash, even though it tells me to do it, until I see 4 of these. So I'll hit the next button in the queue until I see 5. I mean, yeah, storm strike. It's just basic, very, very basic. It's actually a lot easier than I first thought it was. Follow the little add-on here. Just basic damage, doing what, almost 30k, just standing here. Thing is that every class has like a burst they can just blow out on, and then it seems like holding on to the DPS gets kind of tough. So doing this for a second here, just getting the basic. You're gonna see 4, then you lava lash. Right over here, it's counting my Maelstrom weapon over here. So you always want to make sure you get that buff up top, the Unleashed Fury, before you lightning bolt, so you can get the extra lightning bolt in. That was 2 Earth Shocks right there. That was from the talent Echo of the Elements. Yeah, pretty much tells you when to flame shock. It's going to tell me when to drop my totem again. It tells you when to Earth Shock instead. Very, very basic. Alright, we're going to pull out of here. We'll just use up that one. Let me go up and hit this guy to get rid of that Searing Flame buff. There we go. Let it all drop off, and then I'm going to go ahead and see if I can do some big damage here on the boss. Now, this is a raid dummy, so this will be me doing damage on a raid dummy. This isn't heroic. I don't have all my little looking for raid buffs. I just use my Alchemy Flask, which is 320 agility, which isn't much, and then just my regular buffs. And I guess here we go. I'm getting up there, 60k, 70k, 75. Just hitting everything in order here. Oh, I cast the lightning bolt right there. See? That's okay. You burst up really high. But yeah, you just follow Enhancement Technique. Pretty much just kind of follow what I went through right there, and you will be doing great damage in no time with very minimal effort. See, it's even telling me to replace my totem right on time with the other one expiring. And there you have it. I think after I do all this busting out, I usually end up somewhere around 39 to 40k on average after I use all the abilities I just used. But see if we can keep it consistent. I don't know. I did a raid the other day and I ended up about 55 when I was done in the raid, but you have the full raid buffs and everything, which really helps. So just by myself doing 50k on a raid boss. It's awesome. Alright. Any questions about shamans? I really didn't go into specking or anything like that, but if you have questions about that, just let me know. Put it in the comments below. And I'll see you guys around some other time soon.